What it is, my 10 Peace and Grease here, and let's talk a little bit about the Kuva Lich system, shall we? Now let me say from the off that I really do enjoy the Kuva Liches. I see the potential in it, I really do. Kudos to DE, great idea, great update, little clunky, little buggy, but I know DE's working on it, so I can't fault them for that. I see the potential in the Kuva Lich system, I truly do. For me, the Kuva Lich system is like a pearl, if you will. If you imagine a pearl diver swimming to the bottom of the ocean, plucking a clam out of the seabed and opening it up and finding a pearl, yeah, there's potential there. It's a pearl. But it's hazy and dirty and it needs refined and polished. And that's exactly what the Kuva Lich system is. Now, the most obvious question you're more than likely to ask is, Peace, are the Kuva weapons worth the hassle of the Kuva Liches? In short, yeah, hell yeah. The Kuva weapons are quickly becoming the meta, and for good reason. They hit hard. Very hard, in fact. So, needless to say, yeah, absolutely. But with all those things said, there is an issue with the Kuva weapons. Now, the Kuva weapons can go to the max rank of 40 once you install 5 Forma into them. That's not the issue. In fact, I think any piece of equipment that can exceed the typical max rank of 30 opens up some really interesting possibilities down the road, depending on what DE does with it. That's the big question mark here. No, the issue is the fact that you get it to max rank of 40 and you get nothing from it. In fact, the other day when I was explaining to a newer player I was leveling a Kuva weapon to the max rank of 40, they asked me, and what's the purpose of that piece? And I struggled trying to explain it to him, and I finally gave up and said, you know what? There is no purpose. It's a complete and total waste of my time. Now, I know there's going to be a whole barrage of, what about MR? Listen, I know, I get it. If you watch my How to MR video, you already know that once you hit about MR 18, MR is irrelevant. MR is a dead system. The game has evolved. MR has failed to do so. So MR is a system that nobody cares about anymore. So I can hold more faction standing, or void traces, or have more trades and mod capacity and blah blah blah. Who cares? Who really cares? Once you get up to around MR 20 something, or in my case 28, at that point MR is 100% irrelevant. There's no point to really seek out MR. There's just not. There's not a special mission that only certain MRs can go to, special weapons that only certain MRs can have. There's nothing. There's nothing of real consequence in regards to continuing to pursue MR after around MR 18. And there's certainly no point here. I believe that DE has forgotten that the reason players install Forma is for a weapon, or a piece of equipment for that matter, that we really, really like. That we really want to min-max. That's the only reason we do it. It's not like we run around all willy-nilly throwing Forma at every damn thing under the sun. No. It's only for things that we're interested in. And sadly, most of the Kuva weapons don't require 5 Forma. In fact, none of them do. I think the most I've seen is about 3 Forma. That's it. Some of them don't even require 1 Forma. But yeah, we have to continue to install 5 Forma into them. Now, as much as I despise the gilding feature, because it time locks MRs and forces players to use weapons they don't like, the only thing that it does right, is that once you get a modular weapon, be it Kit Gun or Zaw, to 30 the first time, and you gild it, your stats get a boost. Why is that not a feature on these weapons that go over rank 40? I don't understand why. I mean, even if DE wanted to go the easy way out and just give us a stat boost on the mechanical side. For example, fire rate, reload speed, ammo maximum, holster speed, punch through, yada yada. Why would there at least not be that? I mean, that would be something tangible, a legitimate reason to get your Kuva weapons to max rank. So that's a definite issue that needs addressed, for certain. Now, another issue that exists with the Kuva Lich system is duplicate weapons. You get the same weapon over and over and over again. Now, if this was a peace problem, I would shut the hell up and I would Blair Witch my ass in the corner. But it's not. I've talked to many players, clanmates, friends. They're all suffering from the same problem. Getting the same Kuva weapon over and over and over and over and over again. And it ruins the Kuva Lich experience completely and entirely. 3 Liches ago, I got another Kuva Seer. And there's that moment of excitement once you get a Larvaling. You complete the mission, you go back to your orbiter, the screen darkens, and you get that moment of exhilaration. What weapon is my Lich going to have? What kind of bonus damage am I going to get? Oh, the same damn weapons I've had 20 times before. And now you know you're going to have to waste your time dealing with the Kuva Lich you don't want, you don't need, you don't care about. Now you know you're going to have to waste your Requiem mods on a Lich you don't care about, you don't want, and you don't need. And it just ruins that experience. Like I said, the last time it happened to me, I turned off Warframe. I closed the app and went and played another game. Because I was just, it just ruins the entire experience. Now, first let me explain how DE's system works as far as duplicate weapons. And why it's not enough. So, on my first Lich, I got the Kuva Seer. Which means on the next consecutive Lich, I can't get the Kuva Seer, but on the following Lich, I can, more than likely will, as a matter of fact, did get the Kuva Seer again. Which means on the following Lich, I can't, but on this one, I can, and I did get the Kuva Seer again. Which means on this one, I can't, but on this one, you get the idea. On and on and on. Now, I know somebody out there is going to probably, who's not familiar with transferring Kuva weapons, they may say, well, Peace, just put the Kuva series you're getting back into one Kuva Seer. Doesn't really work that way. Now, this Kuva Seer you see here had a 55 or 56% toxin. I don't remember which. And I've got a junk Kuva Seer at like 23% cold. It's junk. So if I hit transfer, it shows you that Kuva Seer, okay, 26% cold. Still junk, but you get the idea. If I click on it, now you'll see what happens when you transfer the same Kuva weapon into another. It doesn't stack. It removes your previous damage and replaces it. So, in my case, I've got 55% toxin on my Kuva Seer. If I accept this, I'm going to replace that 55% toxin with 26% cold. So toxin's gone forever. Who would do that? Nobody. So that doesn't work. For those players out there that are saying, well, Peace, just trade it. All the duplicate series you get in trade chat. Again, I wish it were that easy. Now, I've tried for about 2 weeks. I have a Lich, converted Lich that has a Seer with 52 or 3% toxin. I tried for weeks to trade it. For any other Kuva weapon I haven't had. Not a single taker. Not one. So yeah, it's not that easy to trade those types of unwanted weapons that people don't care about. Krakens, Bracks, Seers, etc. You get the idea. It's not that they're bad weapons. They're not. It's just that people want the big new weapons. And I don't blame them. I've been playing this game for 5 years. Prior to the Kuva Lich system in Railjack, and I'm not bragging, just proving a point here, I have, just like every other veteran, I have all the Warframes, prime and otherwise. I have all the weapons, prime and otherwise. And I do mean primary, secondary, and melee. I have all the arc guns and all the arc melees and all the arc wings, all the pets, all the companions. Got them all. All of them have builds. All of them had reactors. All of them have catalyst. All of them have forma. Yeah. That's what veterans do when we have nothing to do. We just pick a weapon that we get a ribbon for and we see if we can make it work. 9 out of 10 times we can't, but, we still try to entertain ourselves. So giving me the weapon that I've had 20 times before in the game, yeah, I'd really like to experience a new weapon, just like all the other veterans. And sadly, my RNG has been horrible in this game from day one that I started playing it 5 years ago 3,000 hours later, my RNG still sucks. So, yeah. Oh, well. Maybe I'll get the Ayanga, and maybe I'll get the Chakur and the Twin Stubbas, my 10,000th Lich from now. Who knows? Anyway, I digress. The point that I'm trying to make here is that the system that we have currently just does not work. It's just not enough. Now, for all those players out there, they're going to play devil's advocate and say, peace, what's the big deal? That's just the way it is. Stop bitching about it. Okay, let me explain. Let me ask a question, and it is this. Can you please tell me how to get the Kuva Shielding step by step using the Kuva Lich system, please? And only the Kuva Lich system. Now, at this point, I'm hearing a lot of crickets and a lot of nothing because you can't target a specific Kuva weapon. As I just said, you can get the Kuva Shielding on your first Lich, your 1,000th Lich, or your 100,000th Lich. Alright? In fact, it tears me up to say this, but if you were to ask me, Peace, how do I get the Kuva Shielding? I would tell you the truth. And that is, don't waste your time with the Kuva Lich system. Because it is a complete and total utter waste of your time. Instead, tell your friends and tell your clanmates. And then they'll trade it to you when they get it. In fact, that's how I got my Kuva Shielding. That's the only reason I have a Kuva Shielding. Thank you, Mayhem. He's the only reason. Because he hooked me up with this. I've got another friend who's wanting to hook me up with a Kuva Comb. Like, that's literally the only way that I'm getting these Lich weapons. Is because of my friends and clanmates. Because I damn sure I'm not getting them through the Kuva Lich system. And to compound this even further, Dee's already stated that the Kuva Lich system, the Lich system itself is going to be expanded into other factions. So, Corpus Lich and Infested Lich, I guess. Corrupted Lich? I don't know. You get the idea. The point that I'm making is once the Lich arsenal has expanded to 60, 80, 100, 120 weapons, how are you ever going to get the Lich weapon you want? The answer is you can't. You won't. So, yeah. Definitely an issue. With those things said, I personally think what DE should be doing is taking 3 random Kuva weapons like, say, the Kuva Shielding, Agrest, and Stubbas, and saying, alright, if you want one of these 3 weapons, you're going to have to create your Larvaline on this specific Grenier planet. If you want, say, these 3 weapons, the Chakur, the Dragoon, and the Comb, you have to create your Larvaline, on this other Grenier planet, and so on and so forth. At least players know they have a 1 in 3 chance at that point of getting a weapon that they don't already have or haven't had another 20 times already. So that would be a really good system. Having a Lich skip system would be freaking fantastic, dude. That way I know I'm not going to have to waste my time on a Lich or waste my Requiem mods on a Lich I don't want or care about. Particularly when I'm getting nothing but non-stop Kuva Shears back to back. Well, every other Lich, at least. Another way is, which I'm not a fan of this, but I don't know if it would be better or worse. You guys let me know down in the comments section. But, yeah, let's say there's a 2% reduction in drop rate for each similar weapon you get. So you get the Kuva Agrest, 2% reduction of drop rate on the Agrest. You get another one, that's an additional 2% reduction in drop rate. So now you're up to a 4% reduction in drop rate on the Kuva Agrest. So eventually you're going to start getting other weapons. So you get the Twin Stubbas. The first time you get it, 2% reduction in drop rate. Second time, 4%. Next time, 6, 8, 10 each time you get it, see? So within getting the Kuva, the Twin Stubbas 5 times, that's a 10% reduction in drop rate. And you can move on to each particular weapon, doing it that way. So you know that you're going to be getting a weapon you haven't already had, as an example. And then come reset on Sunday, all of those drop rates are zeroed out. And then you have to start over, the next week again. And the reason for the reset is so that players that are really trying to get the best Kuva Agrest, for example, with the highest possible bonus damage, can still continue to try and farm for that without being hampered by it, right? So, but anyway, those are just some of the ideas. But yeah, those are some definite issues. The other issue that I have is, it's a minor thing, but it still, I think, needs addressed, and that is the fact that the Kuva Liches only have 2 personalities. That's it, 2. And the males are smartasses, and the females are super serious. That's it. Now my first question is, DE, what are you saying by that? Why are there no serious male liches? What's up with that? Why are there no smart-ass female liches? Hello? What are you trying to say in some sort of backhanded way? Anyway, I'm joking. Kind of. Not really. But anyway, moving on. It just makes you feel like you're getting the same lich over and over and over and over and over again, even if you're not. You just feel like you're getting the same one. So, yeah, I definitely think that having more personalities would be a good thing. Maybe have one that mentally snaps, because what's it do to the mind when you're torn apart and put back together again by Kuva? Or maybe have one that's very Vulcan-esque, like from Star Trek. No emotions, just very analytical about everything. Yada, yada, yada. You get the general idea. I mean, DE got this idea from the game Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Fantastic game. If you haven't, check it out. The point is that in that game, it had randomly generated mini-bosses with randomly generated names and randomly generated personalities and abilities and etc., etc. You get the idea. Far more complex system than this one, yes. But the point is, you never felt like you were getting the same mini-boss. But with the Kuva Lich system, you do. Within about your fourth Kuva Lich, you just feel like you've heard all the dialogue. You just don't care anymore. It's like a broken record. You tune it out. So yeah, having some new dialogue and some new personalities would go a long way to improving this system, in my opinion. But anyway, those are some of my thoughts and opinions. The Kuva Lich system is still kind of buggy. Agreed. Most recently, the big issue was thralls, and the kneeling position, sliding across the damn floor at me like they're some sort of possessed exorcist thing. I don't know why that is. If they're down, leave them down. They shouldn't be sliding across the floor like freaking air hockey. I don't know what's up with that. Larvalines, they were supposed to be patched, but they're worse now than ever before. It takes me a good 10 to 20 missions before I can get a Larvaline to spawn. What's up with that? But I get the screen flash every damn time. And no, I'm not being invaded by my Syndicate or the Zanuka or the Grewstrog or the Stalker. So yeah, that's problematic. Have issues with Liches knocking my Wukong down in the middle of Depai. Get stuck there, can't cancel the ability, switch to operator, have to abort the mission. Having my Kuva Lich spawn in and then just leave. And it's not as if they're running away. I don't even lay eyes on them. What else? Oh, this isn't as bad now. I used to have an issue where I would go in to look at a Lich mission and it would be labeled exterminate, but once I go into it, it's mobile defense. Like I said, it's not as bad now as it was. I haven't had this issue again. I had a Lich elevated on some debris on the tile set. And when I went to use my Parazon, it didn't tell me whether my Requiem mod was right or wrong. When I used my Parazon a second time, Lich still elevated on the debris. Again, no animation, no notification. Didn't tell me whether my Requiem mods, which one was right or which one was wrong. But my Lich leveled up, so I had to go on the assumption that my first Requiem mod was correct and my second was incorrect. That actually turned out to be the case, but still frustrating. What else? Oh, when you're collecting murmurs, the emblem will pop up and give you the chime, the sound, and tell you that, oh, you're going to find out what another Requiem mod is. But then once you get back to your ship, you find out you're still like 5 short. And it's like, what? Why would you tell me I have them all when I don't? I don't think that's as much of a problem now as it was back in the day. Did you get the general idea? I can't remember all the glitches. And feel free, if you've had glitches, put it down in the comments section. But anyway, that about wraps it up. It's definitely a system that I enjoy, and I definitely see the potential in it. I just hope that DE does something with it, because historically they've always had a bad habit of dropping content and then just completely ignoring it for like the next 20 years. I mean, obviously I'm exaggerating with the 20-year comment, but you get the general point. Look at Profit Taker. The drops on that is still horrendous. There's no point to run Profit Taker besides to do it one time and say, yep, I did it. Nobody runs that for fun, because there's no good loot from it. And DE said they were going to give us new loot. They didn't. You think of something like Lenaro. You think of Conclave. You think of the raids and yada yada. Yeah. So they historically always had a bad habit of turning their back on released content. I really, really hope they don't with the Kuva Lich system, because I do frickin' enjoy it. But then again, I did enjoy the raids as well. Needless to say, I'm hoping that, fingers crossed, DE does refine and improve the Kuva Lich system. But let me know what your thoughts and suggestions are down in the comment section below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Have you experienced it yet? And until next time, peace and grease.